So if you're building an app today, you've got this massive problem. Your data is scattered absolutely everywhere. In this explainer, we're going to break down how two really powerful Oracle tools, Visual Builder and Apex, can turn all that chaos into clarity. Let's dive in.
Every great app starts with this one simple question, right? Where's the data? You've got this amazing vision for a user experience, but the information you need to power it, well, it's a moving target. It's in the cloud, it's with third-party services, it's in old legacy systems, it's pretty much everywhere, except one neat little database.
I mean, this is just the reality for developers now, isn't it? Our data lives in all these different silos. Your customer info's in Salesforce, your payments are handled by Stripe, project tickets are in Jira, and that's not even counting all of your own internal microservices. Building an app used to be about querying a single database. Now it's this huge exercise in complex integration. So how do you tame all this chaos? Well, Oracle's vision is to stop playing whack-a-mole with every single API. The goal is to build a single, unified data engine that sits right between all the complexity of the web and the simplicity your application really needs.
In this visual, it really gets to the heart of this mindset shift. Over on the left, you see the messy reality, all these point-to-point connections. But on the right, that's the goal, a single, clean source of truth for your app. It totally abstracts away where the data actually lives, whether it's in your database or a dozen different cloud services. And this quote, this is basically the North Star for everything we're about to talk about. Just imagine for a second, what if getting customer data from Salesforce felt exactly like running a SQL query on a table that's right there in your own database? That's the kind of revolutionary simplicity we're aiming for. It fundamentally changes how you think about building applications. Okay, let's get practical. How does this actually work? We'll start with Oracle Visual Builder, which is a fantastic low-code platform for building web and mobile apps.
In Visual Builder, the magic really starts with something called a service connection, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a configured gateway. You just point it at any REST API out there on the web, and it instantly becomes the bridge that connects that external data right to your application's front end.
And the process is this simple three-step flow. 1, you connect the endpoint. Just give it the API's URL. 2, you define the data's shape. Visual Builder is smart. It actually looks at the API's response and creates a kind of blueprint for the data. And 3, you bind your UI. You just drag and drop components onto your page and link them to that data type you just created. It's a totally visual, low-code way to handle integration.
To make this super concrete, just imagine connecting to a public API like restcountries.com. You'd set up a service connection, let it define a country type that has fields for, say, the flag and the time zone, and then you just drag an image component onto your page and bind it to the flag data. It's that direct, it's that simple. All right, let's switch gears and look at the second approach with Oracle Apex. Apex is just fantastic for building really data-driven enterprise applications right on top of your Oracle database. In Apex, the key concept you need to know is the REST data source. And its genius? Well, it's all about its role as an abstraction layer. It takes that messy, raw JSON that an API gives you and presents it to you as if it were a clean, simple database table with neat rows and columns. This diagram here maps out that whole data journey in Apex. And look, don't worry about reading every single word. Just follow the flow. It starts with the external API, which gets defined as a REST source. That source has its credentials and a data profile, that's the translator, which turns the API's JSON into these virtual database columns. And from there, the data flows seamlessly into any Apex component you want, like a report or a chart. It's just a beautifully streamlined process. You can really think of the whole Apex setup as resting on these 3 pillars. First, the remote server. That's just the API's home address, its base URL. Second, web credentials. This is like the secure ID card for authentication. It holds your API keys or OAuth info. And third, the data profile. This is the really powerful translator that tells Apex exactly how to map that incoming JSON into a neat virtual table. So we've seen how to connect to things, but what elevates these tools from just being cool to being truly enterprise-grade? Well, it's what they do beyond that initial connection. Let's talk about the 2 things that really matter in production: security and performance. Security is non-negotiable, right? The old way of doing things was just pasting API keys directly into your code, which is a huge security risk. With this approach, you centralize all your credentials. So if an API key ever changes, you update it in one single place, not in 100 different places. And the best practice?
You don't even store the key in Apex itself. You reference it securely from a service like OCI Vault.
Next up, performance. I mean, think about it. If you have a really popular report that calls an external API every single time a user loads the page, you're going to hit two problems. First, it's going to be slow for your user, and second, you might actually hit the API's rate limits.
The solution for this is incredibly powerful. It's called REST source synchronization. Apex can basically create a local mirror of that external data right inside your Oracle database. You can schedule it to refresh every hour or every day, whatever you need. Now your reports and charts are querying this local, super fast table, giving your users instant results while the data gets updated efficiently in the background.
Of course, things don't always go perfectly, right? This troubleshooting guide is pure gold. Are you getting a 401 unauthorized error? Your API key is probably wrong or expired. A 403 forbidden. That usually means your database needs permission, an ACL grant, from your DBA to talk to that specific server. And the classic 404 not found? You've probably got a typo in the URL. This is a great little cheat sheet to have handy.
Okay, so after looking at both Visual Builder and Apex, what is the single most important idea to walk away with here?
It all comes down to one word: abstraction. Both of these tools handle all the messy complexity under the hood: the raw HTTP calls, parsing the JSON, handling errors. This frees you, the developer, up to do what actually matters: building great features and delivering business value, not writing a bunch of boilerplate plumbing code.
So we end right back where we started. Your data is scattered all over the web. But with tools like these, that just doesn't matter anymore. They bring it all together for you. So the question is no longer, how can I possibly connect to all this? The new question is a whole lot more exciting. What will I build now?